Hey y'all, good morning. Hope y'all are doing well. I'm just jumping on. I didn't let nobody know I was coming on, but let's talk about this new Bible project release. I've been getting some good feedback, so let's talk about it. Y'all know I'm all things Bible. I love the Bible, not just because I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, but I love how the Bible transforms our lives, changes us. I can't see. It transforms our lives and changes us. And so I decided to do a little Bible project. Not little, because I'll be doing more, but I wanted to start with one that's impactful for my life. I'm all about what God does in my life. I know that he can do it for other people. So I'm faced this way, so I have this glare in my glasses. I just can't see. Anyways, y'all, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I'll just forego those because it's getting on my nerves. I'll forego those. But happy Saturday. It's been a minute since I've done a live, and I just wanted to get up here and first say thank y'all for supporting the new release, The Song of Songs, Chapter 1. It came out yesterday. And so I was elated. I've been holding on for it for a while. Only released the full project to a few people just to get their thoughts, any corrections they feel that I could do and work with. But I released it yesterday, and it's doing well. I even was at work the other day or yesterday, and I wanted to test it to make sure people could get it on other platforms, because from my understanding, it was only on 3, but it's actually on way more than I thought. So that's more of pushing the gospel out there, and I'm excited about that. So they would just hear the beginning of it. One guy was like, "Hey, yo." I feel like I'm at a concert, and that's the whole purpose. When you hear the full project, you'll understand what's happening. Summer is coming. Concerts are live and well in the summer. And when I listen to this project, again, y'all, it's not just about the music, but I relate through music. And so I did it this way. But I can picture people sitting down with this like they're at a concert. You know those little tiny desks we did during COVID? That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of those moments where we got to get a full view of our favorite artists from back in the day, just on these tiny desk concerts or the verses. But when I purposely made this as a concert style project, because I wanted people to just be able to chill and listen. If you have a loved one in your life, the love of your life, you have them, you can sit with them and just chill. You get off of work, put this on and listen. If you're single, you can still chill. I clean to this. I've been holding on this for a minute. I have all the songs, okay, in the vault. So I clean to this. I cook to this. I drive, chill into this. I have a beach trip coming up. This will be playing, okay? But I released the first chapter because people kept saying, "You keep talking about it. Can we at least get something?" Some sample. Ronaldo, if you're listening, it's out. So I hope that you've heard the first chapter. But I want to explain this to y'all because I think it was on TikTok. There was I put a little bit of it out. Hey, whoever's showing up, I can't really see who's coming up, but let me know in the chat that you're up here. But I was on TikTok. I released a little bit of the song just on different posts. And then I made a video about it, about, Song of Solomon and the purpose of it and why God, gives us this beautiful love letter. Again, I could not years ago read Song of Solomon. It was too much for me, coming from the background that I was in. You could say that I was spiritually immature, whatever you want to call it. But anything sexual, I could not listen to it. Like I had to, God delivered me from the music I was listening to. Hey Blanche, God was delivering me from music that I was listening to, worldly music that I was listening to that I had no business listening to as a believer. And then because of my background going through the abuse that I went through, I had to grow up. I couldn't listen. I couldn't read Song of Solomon. I was at an internship and they made us read it. I didn't read. I couldn't. I wasn't ready yet. But as an adult, being delivered from all that, now I can read it and I can understand the purpose behind it. It is a beautiful story, a beautiful love letter from God. It's a penned, love letter from Solomon to the Shulamite woman. And I call her Zaria on the project. But it's maturity. It is intimate. It is drawing. It is longing. It is a healthy desire that we as believers can have. I don't see why people either preach against it or talk against it, but God created love. God created, so he said that we can participate in it as married people, but it is a part of our life that we can enjoy. Now in this, they're not doing that, but they're talking about love. They're being intimate. They're talking about being together. They're talking about longing and the distance. And I'm dealing with that right now, a long distance relationship with the man that I love. And it is hard, but we have those longings. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but he popped up and just surprised me. And it just knocked me off. If you see the video, you see me the camera just go down. I actually fell back because I was so shocked that this man, he is a romantic, but he swears he's not. But to surprise me, it is hard to surprise me. People can't surprise me easily. But this man surprised me like that. And I was just taken aback to the point, like, I understand why people faint. Like Michael Jackson, like all of inside of me was just like, oh my God, this dude surprised me like that. But that was from the longing that I miss him. Like I miss him. I want to be around him more than be away. That can't happen right now, but it's okay. It's going to happen. And so I love this book of the Bible right now for me because it helps me to relate human-wise to loving somebody so much that you miss them, you long for them, you don't want to be apart. So the song Draw Me Closer, chapter 1, is about that. I want to draw closer to you, and the way that he and I can do it is we have to continue to affirm each other. We have to continue to just boost each other up. Like, baby, we're going to see each other soon. We're going to do this. I know he has a lot to do with his son and travel and basketball and all that kind of stuff. And we have to make it work. And because we've been intentional in making it work, it works. I promise you, I would have missed a good thing giving up on him earlier in it because we were long distance. And a lot of people said to not do that, like long distance, girl, if I would have let go of him, I would have let go of a good thing. And it was one pivotal moment. I remember we were at wife class. I'm in the production booth helping, and Pastor Jeanette said, she listed off some things, and those things were, if you have a good man, and he was checking all of those, checking. And she was like, sometimes we let go of things because of fear of whatever, of what people think. And I had to let go of what people thought. I had to let go of the pressure of what people wanted me to do, and the this, and this gonna happen, this gonna have to let it go, y'all. I had to let that go, and I had to trust God with the relationship. And I'm thankful God put the right people in my ear, like my mom and my dad. It's been 2 instances where I was gonna give up because of the distance, and both of them happened of me walking out on the parking lot outside my place. And one day I was just so down because I missed him so much. And my mom came out of somewhere and said something about how long my dad and her were in a relationship before they got married. And it was the same amount, hitting the same amount of time that he and I have been in a relationship. We celebrated 4 years yesterday. And I say celebrate because people were like, y'all ain't married, what you celebrating? Guess what? I'm celebrating a healthy relationship. I'm celebrating a drama-free relationship. I'm celebrating a great man who respects and honors me. I'm celebrating a great love that God honors. I'm celebrating the fact that I'm not in an abusive, verbal relationship in which I had to deal with in the past. That's what I'm celebrating. We can celebrate these things. A lot of times we don't celebrate great things in our lives. We don't. And as a woman who's still single, because I'm not married, I celebrate those things. I celebrate them hard. I remember when I first I first let the cat out the bag. Okay, I let the cat out the bag that I was in a relationship. Y'all, I got calls. I even got Facebook video calls from people who haven't talked to me in 10 years. I promise you, no lies. No lies. They say no cap. No cap. Of people who just because I'm in a relationship respect me or want to talk to me. If I'm not, they don't. And that's so sad. Like, that's so sad. Like, people, at first I stopped, but I started reposting again. But I began to post him. Hey, Leisha. Hey, Mama. Hey, Nikki. I stopped posting about him and myself because people it wasn't even negative, but there were negative things. But then there were pressure comments like, why ain't y'all married? When y'all getting married? When are we getting married? Like, what's the rush? Like, I have a long distance relationship. If we were here, it would still be us developing this relationship. What's the rush? And that's what I love about the Song of Solomon chapter. It's not rushing love. It says, do not work love until it's time. And we love each other, but rushing into things, I've seen people rush into marriages just because people pressure them. I've seen people get into marriages because of the lust factor. I understand that the Bible tells us if we burning, but guess what? If you haven't put that work in, even if you burn it, I've seen a lot of divorces, and I don't want that. I don't want that. We're not holding back because of that. We have to deal with his son graduating, his son, all this basketball, all this stuff that's going on. Look, I have that life. I know that life. My parents had to deal with that. I understand. When I got into a relationship, I understood. I was an AAU kid. My parents were always traveling. They had to miss church. They had to do all these things. But y'all, what I love about this so much is that I understand it. And there's been women that he's dated who broke up with him because of it. That's the first thing he mentioned. My one thing, when we got together, before we decided to commit, is, do you have time for me? And he said, I will make time for you. And when he said that, he did it. I waited for a few months because I did the 3-month thing that everybody told me to do. If this, a man will know by 3 months, a man will know by 8 months. If he ain't, I held on to what someone told me years ago. If he hadn't asked you to marry him in a year, get rid of him. God told me to cut all that. It was around the 5th or 7th month. God said, cut that off because he wasn't opening up. Because I wasn't pressuring him, but I was telling him, talking about, so what do you think about marriage? When you want to get married? Do you want to marry me? Like, stuff like that. I kept doing that. And it kept, pushing him back like this because he's dealt with that before. But God said, cut off the time limits. Let go of the time limits. Stop that. And he said, breathe. And then when I did that, this dude opened up. And we've been like this ever since. We tell each other every single thing. I remember because of a relationship that I was in before this, the person was always wanting to know where I was. I had to take pictures to prove that I was in a certain places. I remember being at a church event. He didn't believe I was at a church event. He told me to take a picture to prove that I was there. That's abusive, and when he first said, hey babe, where you at? I said, for what? Why you want to know? And he was like, whoa. What's this? I hadn't been healed of that. I was feeling like he's doing what that guy did. He wasn't like that. So I had to heal from that. But then when he started opening up and telling me more and more and everything, and there's been the battles of the distance that we've had, of me wondering, is he with somebody else? Is he, all that kind of stuff, the normal stuff. It had to be walked through. And I'm thankful for people like my mom and my dad. I get my dad's side about, a man and what men think and why men think about this. I only go to men that I know that will tell me the truth, that won't sugarcoat it. And my mom, who helps me, like, Angel, you acting just like I acted. You sound just like me. Back up off of them. You know, so yes, 4 years. We've been in a relationship for 4 years, and it's purposeful. We're going to get married one day, and I'm excited about it. We talk about it all the time, but right now it's just not that moment. Guess what? Y'all will hear about that one day. But the project, I put it out on our anniversary for that purpose, to help you all understand there is no rush in love. And I know people want to see a marriage, or see, not even a marriage, y'all, but a wedding so bad. That's just one day. There's a marriage behind that wedding that you have to live out, and they're not going to be there for it. See what I'm saying? So for y'all single ladies who want to get married, stop letting people pressure you into it. I'm not telling you to not get married, but don't let people pressure you into marriage. It looks good. You got to think about what they went through before they were married. They were in the same boat as us. You know, some people did things different. You don't mock people's relationships. You don't mock people's marriage. You walk through yours and get advice from wise people. That's my advice for y'all. Go to wife class. I really like wife class. I'm not just endorsing it because it's my pastor, but I really learned. I'm not married, but I go because I want to know. I go to my mom and dad because I want to know. I want to know what it is. And the older I got, as a young child, I didn't understand their marriage. I was their mom and dad. Everything is good. I remember telling people, like, my mom and dad, they never argue. Ever. And they were like, huh? I don't want that marriage. And a lot of people look up to my mom and dad as far as their marriage goes. They look up to them. But when I got older, and I'm my mom's friend and daughter, we get to have those talks. And I remember one time my dad was talking to a friend's husband, and I was washing dishes, minding my business, kind of listening in, and they were talking about their marriage. And then my dad said, yeah, me and my wife argue, but we don't do it in front of the kids. We take it and we talk about things. We don't. And I'm like, they argued. They didn't show it, but they did it the right way. They did it the right way. And I'm not talking about blown out arguments. I'm talking about, like, if they had a disagreement, he was just letting the young man know, hey, we have a disagreement. We're going to take it to the back. We ain't doing it in front of the kids. And I respect them so much for that, because we didn't even know. I promise you, I was like, their marriage is perfect. Their marriage is, and people were like, how do we get there? And I'm like, I'll ask them. No, but I honored their marriage. So I go to them about marriage advice. I go to them about relationship advice. I go to my dad about talking to men, talking to him about Will. I call him Chocolate Man. Y'all know him for Chocolate Man. But it's weird. It's a funny thing. I'll tell you that later. But I talk to my dad about Will. I talk to my dad about how do I relate to him as a woman to a man, if he's dealing with something, like struggling with something, if there's a depression, or if there's something that's going on at work, or something that he can't deal with in his mind. I pray for him. And I talk to my dad, how do I help him with this situation? But he does the same for me. I went through a lot last year, and this man walked me through it. The beautiful thing is, and I'll post it, celebrating us being together for these years. Hey, Nat. Celebrating being together these years. When I first met him, I was concerned, because people always talk to me about, you're going to marry a pastor. You're going to marry a minister. And this man, I wouldn't say was far from that. He did have a relationship with God, but he did not go to church. And this was during, like, a little bit after COVID. Like, we're still in it, but we're starting to, and so I noticed on Sundays he would go sit on his back porch and read the Bible. And so I'm like, oh God, I can't be with no man that don't go to church. And God was like, why not? And I the religious me was like, because he doesn't go to a church. He's not dedicated. And God had showed me, and I didn't talk to him about it yet, but I was just like, God had shown me that he had some church hurt. He backed up. And then later, when he opened up, he revealed that he was an armor bearer, and there was a big church split, and there was a lot of drama going on, and he encountered some drama in that, so he backed up off of church. He still loved God. And so over the years, as we've been dating and getting to know each other, this man, okay, he lives the word. It's like he'll be reading the word and he'll be like, baby, what do you think about this? The word said this. What do you think about this? I don't get this. I don't understand this. Or then if I need some encouragement, he's like, well, the Bible says this. Y'all, I have not had this. I've had men tell me they're Christians, that they love God, but they want my draws. Okay? Like, that's a normal thing but I'm talking about the pressure of wanting it, like trying to, like, I'll fly you up here to get them draws. Like stuff like that, like no backing off. I've had men tell me they love God, but you keep talking and you'll find a fool. That's what the Bible says in Proverbs. Let them talk enough, you'll find the foolishness in them. All right? And they'll tell me what I want to hear, and then all of a sudden it'll get to wanting them draws. It never fails. Like, bruh, I don't want to I'm not. Like, I don't live that life no more. And so he's the first guy, like when we first met, my nephew had passed, and we were slated to meet the 29th or 27th or 28th of August of that year. It had already been planned. I didn't know this was going to happen with my nephew. And we buried my nephew on the 26th of August. And he said, baby, do you need we can reschedule? I said, we've planned this. I want to meet you for the first time. I'm ready to meet you. And then I did need him there. I just needed him there. I needed that peace because of everything that's been happening. And I'll explain the story later, but it was like a movie. Like, I'm in the airport. I'm sitting there waiting for him. And I'm on the phone like, baby, I'm here. I'm inside. He's like, oh, I didn't see you. I'm outside. We turn around. Boom. Lock eyes. It was like... like we've never been apart. And he was the first guy, we got him a hotel. I was like, okay, I can handle it. I don't want you to pay that money. You can stay at my place. He said no. And that's the first guy that ever told me no. Like, no. Nope. Nope. And I was like, he said, I want to honor you and respect you and what you said. And I said, yes, sir. Even one time when we had a little moment, played around, like, oh my God. Y'all know me, I'm going to be honest. Went to my room. We fell back, fell on the bed, boom, broke the bed. He ran out there like a kid, ran out of that room like, but God was like, you watch yourself. But it's the fact that he respects me, that he respected me, he respects me, and he loves me. And it's the first guy that ever did that. Like, first guy that ever showed respect towards me. Even when times that I felt like, I just want to hold him longer, I want to kiss him longer, I want to do this. And the respect of it, we are nowhere near perfect, y'all. Nowhere near it. Tell you the stories later. Nowhere near perfect, but I believe God honors the fight. Like when I tell y'all we have to fight all the time, this is the purpose. I believe God is showing me the distance right now, because Angel will be at the altar every Sunday if this dude lived here right now. That's just me. And I know I'm joking, but seriously, it's a protection that God has blessed me with. And at first I didn't realize it was a protection from God, that do this thing in a distance format. Y'all can learn to grow. Y'all can learn to love each other from a distance. Y'all can see each other and visit. Right now, let's get a healthy love because of my past. Y'all know it. Of my past, my go-to was just to go ahead and do it and then deal with it later. Let's win this battle. Y'all, and it's not easy because every time I see this 6'6" chocolate man, y'all, I can't. But the good thing is that there's no test he needs to pass. I'm an adult woman. I don't have to get approval from pastors, parents, all that. But I respect my mom and dad enough to, he's talked to my dad. He's talked to my mom. I respect them enough to do that. I am old school when it comes to that. I've brought him to my church. He got the okay. My pastor wasn't there, but Pastor Tyler sure did come up like he had a gun or something. Like, hey, my name is Pastor Tyler Russell. And y'all, Pastor Tyler is young, way younger than me. But the respect that I wanted, he came there, he was nervous at first. He sat in the car doing, it was, he sat in the car. But I still have the picture of him and a video. I just took it, me, of him. He got out the car and he was talking to the men out in the parking lot at my church. So go to church. Of course, I had to sing, but he saved a seat for me, sat beside me. He was on the edge. He loved Pastor Tyler's message. He kept talking to me about it. But the fact that he, the approval, because I respect those who are in leadership over me, my parents, my pastors, I'm going to give that. But it doesn't have to happen to be like, oh, I can't be with him unless. I've had my pastor. I was engaged twice as a young adult. And my pastor, I listened to my pastor's advice, and those marriages didn't happen. They did not happen. And so, and that was wisdom, because I look at those people, and it's not that they're in a bad place, but they weren't meant for me. There was times they went through a bad place, and I was like, oh, God spared me from that, but they're great people. They're doing great things, but it wasn't for me. And I listened to my pastors on that, So anyways, draw me closer. Why is the chapter out? I know if you're wondering, I put the chapter out yesterday. If you're just joining, it is Song of Solomon or Song of Songs to music. I relate through music, and I wanted to help y'all understand what this book is about. So Draw Me Closer is the first chapter that's out yesterday, and it's on all the platforms. You can go look up God-Shaped Music, and you can find it there. But I put it out first for you to get a glimpse of what it is. I made a post that it says, the first verse says, kiss me, don't rush, don't waste your time. People will probably be like, especially if they're religious, oh, this is worldly. This is devil music. I need you to go and flip those pages. First chapter, Song of Songs. What does it say? Kiss me over and over again. We look at it in the wrong light. We don't look at it in a healthy way, the way God has meant for it to work and be. Okay, we don't look at it the right way. And so when I wasn't able to read the chapter, I looked at it with unhealthy eyes, with eyes that weren't pure because of what I've been through. But now I see this is the healthy way of love. This is the way God intended it to be. And He intended us to long for each other and love and desire each other without the temptation. It's there. Like she goes, I had to fight just to hold I had to fight every single day in this relationship to do it God's way. When the temptation is presented, I do not have to open the package. I don't. And so I can long for him. I can love him. I can desire him in a healthy way, in a godly way, because it's what God put on the inside of us. He wired us to love, and He wired us to be loved. And so this chapter, the first chapter, will help you understand that. He affirms her in this chapter. Her brothers pushed her out into the sun. Now, back in those days, if you're considered darker, that means you're a working woman. And, if you ain't dainty like they want you to be, they don't want you. That's just how it was back then. And her brothers pushed her out into the sun to work, and she was tanned and dark and wasn't considered lovely. But Solomon saw the Shunammite woman. Again, I call her Zaria on the project. But he sees her. He affirms her. I see your dark skin. I love the darkness of who you are. I love it. I'm going to pursue you. I'm going to chase you. I'm going to find you. And that's affirmation. I get this affirmation from Will every single day. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a beautiful woman. When he surprised me, I kind of felt ashamed because I am at a weight that I don't like being at. I wasn't prepared. But I felt ashamed afterwards. I was like, oh, I didn't look my best. I was actually walking from across the street from my part-time job. I was walking across the street from there, and I was dressed up because we have to dress up. But I didn't feel my best. The insecurity was there. But this man looked me up and down. He called me beautiful. You look so beautiful. I love you. I miss you. He affirmed me like Solomon is affirming the Shulamite woman. He's affirming her. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you've been through. And these are things that women have to fight all the time. And I don't knock, looking your best and being the most beautiful. But baby, are you going to love me when I have on my cap? Are you going to love me when my hair is not done? Are you going to love me when I have my fat rolls on my neck that show that I've picked up weight? Are you going to love me when I don't have my six pack? Are you going to love me when I don't look my best? Yes, I believe in looking my best. I will not go out and misrepresent. I'm not going to go out with rollers in my hair anymore. I'm not going to go out, looking bad. But in my worst, what seems my worst, are you still going to love me? And he does. That's a sign of a good man when they'll say, hey, baby, you ain't going to be, he knows I'm not going to be dressed up every day. I still have that tomboy style in me. I've given up trying to be the beauty queen of the world every single day of my life. I've given up. I've tried that life and it didn't fit. It wasn't my armor. If that's what you want to do, you do you. But Angel, I'm not going to misrepresent you. I'm not going to misrepresent you. But if a man can see you and love you without all that glam and all that kind of stuff, then guess what? You got a good one. You have a good one. And so when he came to visit me and I was just kind of like, he put your hands down, baby. Come here. That kind of stuff. So that's what Solomon is doing for the Shulamite woman. And then she affirms him. Like she affirms the mess out of him. And you just read the chapter. I want you to read chapter. And I'll unless you just want to, don't read it in the King James Version because you're going to get you're not going to understand it. But if you're like me, I go and I go and I research. I do the research. I study the Hebrew. I look at what the words mean. I love the NLT version. I love the Message is more romantic, the Message Bible. And I can't wait for them to do the Passion Translation. They only have the New Testament right now, but find a version that is more modern so you can see it and then study it. Just do chapter 1. The rest is going to come out on the 19th, but just chapter 1, focus on that. And then ask God when you're reading it, and I'm doing some Bible studies on it. When you're reading it, ask God to show you what he's saying to you when it comes to love. Ask God, do I have a pure heart, pure eyes, pure ears for love? Is there anything tainted when it comes to love? Are my ears and eyes tainted? What I've been through tainted when it comes to love? Hey, Kyrie, is it tainted? Am I seeing love the wrong way? If you are, you will not be able to, I won't say handle, but understand Song of Solomon because their love is real. Someone's told me it was rated R. It's not when you have a pureness. And it's okay if you don't because I was there. There's some things I still read and be like, ooh, her breasts look like what? The funny thing is Will, he read it and he was like, baby, why is the Bible talking about a woman's breast looking like rolling heels or something like that? And I was just like, it's the form of a poetic form of how they talk, baby. It's not but that's how they explained it. Imagine us, like if you're married, you got to be careful you're singing. You don't want to be talking about your girl like, baby, your breast is, but you want to, when you're married, like if you're a man and you're up here like talking to your wife like romantic, you don't understand that what that will do for a woman. Married, y'all, married folks only, okay? Because I have to be very careful. Like he'll be like, girl, your legs, and I'll be like, baby, it's okay. Stop playing. Because I have really long legs, y'all, long legs. But he loves them and he loves everything about me, and like even like the hair on my arms. I don't know why he's infatuated. He would just be sitting there like rubbing the hair on my arms. And I used to shave it. Like I used to shave my arms because I hated it. But the most simple things, like a man will love something so much. Let him love that. Like let him love you. Let him. This also Song of Solomon helps you to do that. Let me love you. Like, let me find you. Stop hiding from me. Where, like he asked, there's a point where they're asking where you are. I've waited for you. Where were you? I was looking for you. Let a man love you. And that's what I've, with Will, I've been able to do that. Like there's a point where I wouldn't let him love me because of the relationships that I was in that were abusive. But now I let him, bless. Look, there's only 2 men, 3. God does it for me all the time, especially when something happens and I'm just so joyous. But my dad and Will are the only people that can get my cheeks to and help make me, well, Will gets me in a soprano voice. Y'all know I'm a tenor, but I start, oh my God, like it's embarrassing. And it just happens and I let it happen. My dad, I get all girly and cheek when he says, baby, you look beautiful today. I like that on you. When my dad does that, it just makes me really like, not girly because I'm already a girl, but just more, giddy. It's embarrassing, but I just let it happen now. I used to be ashamed to do that, but now, anyways. But the fact that this book of the Bible, I keep getting excited, but this whole Bible, the whole book, it helps us to understand love the right way. And that's why I want to share that with y'all. And again, I released it yesterday, so you can, if you just join in, you can find it on all platforms. Yes, let him love you, Tanika. Yes, let him love you. Let that man love you. And what y'all don't realize, guys, is that, ladies, if you're listening, men want an outlet to love the right way. They do. And they have their own battles already where they're told not to do that. Don't be like this. Don't act like this. Don't let no woman know. That's what the world says. But God says, let them know. Let them know. And let a woman love you. Let them love you. And so men need an outlet to love. And if you allow him to love you, then y'all, what is the ladies? For the married folks, the girl, she did some announcements at our church. She said, bow chicka wow wow, if you know what that means. Let him love you. And then bow chicka wow wow. When we get married, we can bow chicka wow wow anytime we want. Y'all ain't going to see me for a long time. I'm going to be on a long honeymoon because I deserve it. Anyways, what'd you say, Mama? Just think how God, yes. When you're single, you're not in a daily, again, y'all, if you're single and you're dating, you're still single. There's no other, you're married or you're single, period. If you're divorced, you're married or you're single, period. If you're widowed, you're married or you're single. So again, like we've been taught, you don't give a man marriage privileges if you're single. I've mentioned it before. We've made the choice for Will to move here. Once his son graduates, he'll come to Charlotte. He's wanted to live here. He lived in Statesville years ago, 15 years ago. And we made the decision for him to come to Charlotte. My parents just retired. I don't want to be away from them. I want to be close to them for this moment. And then we can venture. And that we made that deal right there. I forgot what I was going to say. But we've made that choice to do that. There we go. And the marriage part will happen. But he said if he lived here, of course we're not going to be living together. Even if we're deciding, if we've already made the decision, because we already made the decision to get married, but we ain't living together. What does that look like? I'm not getting, no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. We're not living together. We're not going to live together. That's not a thing. So as a single woman, my mom had said it, you're not dating. This chapter helps you with your love with God. I know in the beginning it says, kiss me and over and over again. It's talking about the intimacy, the purity of a thing. God's love for you. I know there's some, not genres, but some denominations that have songs like Kiss Me, God, Kiss from God, all that kind of stuff. It's healthy. It's an intimate thing. And there's some denominations be like, God kissing me up. What does that look like? But it's talking about the intimacy, guys. If you're single and you read this chapter, it's about focus on the intimacy of a thing, the healthy intimacy of a thing. Get the perversion out and ask God to remove the perversion of what love looks like in a worldly way. Because it's not, okay, I can't say it like that on, they'll shut me down. But it's not, I don't know how to say it any other way, but ask God to show you and give you a pure eye and a pure heart for what it's supposed to. Mature love breaks all barriers. It surely does. It most definitely does. So you have to, y'all, see this chapter through God's eyes if you're not dating somebody, because it's for everybody. It's for the married. It's for the single. It's for those who are in a dating relationship. Single. It's for you to understand love in a pure way. That's my heart. It's not to release music. And people are asking, no, it's not me up there singing. What it is that I have the music. I create the words and all this kind of stuff. And through AI, I put this together and it's in concert form. Guess what? AI. Yes, there. Because I don't know why church folks are so anti-AI. Y'all, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, but God showed me to do it and I did it and I'm running with it. Y'all going to get more Bible through music because we have this ability to use AI to do something that I can't physically do. And it takes me less money to do it because I don't have to go into a studio, get them to do it, wait on them to do it, pay tons of money. When God showed me how to do it, I ran with it. And he gave me Song of Solomon, Song of Songs. I get tired with it because it's two ways to say it, but I ran with it and I obeyed. And y'all, it's running off. Like, I've gotten so many great feedback from it. People are like, I can see the Bible to music. Yes, because there's more than one way to read the Bible. And so with this, it is not word for word. This pushes you to go, it's a song. It pushes you to go read the chapter, study the chapter yourself, and then hear the music in the way you should. When God gave me Song of Solomon to do first, I kind of questioned it. Like, Song of Solomon of all chapters, can I do James? But he told me this one for healing for me, to show how far I've come. And to also, one of my favorite topics is to help young women stay out of that bed until they get wed. We all been there, but it helps you to see it in the form that God has meant for love to be. And so you hear the song, you get curious and you go listen. One girl on TikTok was like, I don't know about this. We need more content. I said, stay tuned, boo. Stay tuned. That's all I said. Stay tuned. And you're just going to have, messages. Then one guy, a fella, like, I will love when the guys respond, because he was like, thank you for posting this, because I get so confused about how women want us to be, or women put themselves out there and are in the wrong light. And I understood, bro. I understand. We can do better. Y'all can do better, because there's a whole thing around that. Like, just because a woman, she may be putting herself out there looking all like wearing certain things, doesn't mean you have to take the bait. We as women can do better. You can look cute, but are you trying to draw attention? Stuff like that. When you get a pure eye and a pure heart. Hey, Pastor Will, when you get a pure heart and a pure eye for love, it no longer looks like lust, because they look close, but they're not. They have nothing. I heard a pastor say, and I was a young adult when he said it. Was I young adult? No, I was a little over. I was over the age. I was in my 30s, higher 30s. He said, I lust my wife. I said, so I said, God, let me go, before I say something, let me go look, because lust is not a health, from what I know. And it didn't say anything positive about it. So we have to be mindful and careful. And I understand what he was saying, but you still have to be careful of how you put it out there. If you feel that's how it is, just be careful preaching it. Have some backup. So I understand that when I put this music out, there's going to be a religious thing to it where people are going to be like, this ain't God, this ain't it. There's going to be people who say thank you, and there's going to be people who don't understand it at all but want to know more. I'm ready for all of it. It's hard, but if God gave me to, put me up here to do it, I'm going to do it. And it's one of my favorite topics. That's when I was a young adult, that's all I preached. I got invited places to preach about sexual purity, holiness, even when I wasn't living in it. And that was like, I thought God was punishing me, because I'm like, God, I just got out of somebody's bed and you want me to go preach here? The thing about that is, it'll be different for everybody, because somebody just said, that wasn't God. Well, it was God for me, because I wanted to sit down, but he gave me friends who would not let me back up, knowing I did something just last night. They built me up. They prayed over me. They said, they rebuked what I was doing. And then I got an invite like the next day, and I was insecure about it, but I was able to go preach about and be honest about how to be pure, and let them know it's not easy, because you can get the cute side of purity, or you can get the raw and real side of it. It's not easy. I told y'all I said the She-Hulk, the Hulk, but it's the She-Hulk. She want to come out, but I cannot open love before it's time. I cannot. If I do, it dishonors God. It dishonors the person. It just does. And I remember as a young adult, the struggle that I had, I talked about masturbation coming from abuse. That was an outlet for me. And there's a lot of, people have their back and forth about that, but it's not God. If you're doing that, stop. Because where the thoughts come from a lustful place, that's what gets you to that point. And we had to have this talk. Me and Chocolate, we had to have this talk. I was like, it was a normal thing. I don't know, for men, it might be maybe harder. I don't know. But it's been almost a year or two where the struggle has not been a problem for me. I have lost all taste to do that. And I remember when we first met, it was kind of like, oh, it's normal. He said it was normal. And I'm like, let me explain, baby, why masturbation as for a Christian is not normal. Even though people say it is. It's not in the Bible, but the act before it and what you're doing and what you think about is in the Bible. And so it was about a few months back, he came and said, baby, can I share something with you? You won't, laugh at me? And I said, go ahead. He said, I haven't masturbated in months. And he was so happy. And I was thankful, because I prayed for this, because I was like, I know the struggle for it. I don't know how the struggle is for a man, but for me, I know I've been struggling with this since I was 5. So I understand that came from being abused, sexually abused. And so for him to come to me and tell me and share that with me, I was just I know it's small to people, but he was so happy that this thing didn't hold him hostage, that it didn't hold him bound. And that is something, like, we're not in the same city, but we can grow like that. You can't tell me God ain't doing that. You cannot tell me that God, I'm not telling y'all to go and have a long distance relationship. This is my relationship. I'm telling you that if you trust God with a relationship, you get everybody out your ears, you put the right people in front of you to help you walk through this relationship. It will work. It will work. One of the best things that ever happened online for me was I asked the question, can a long distance relationship work, when him and I first started dating? And I got such great feedback. Only one negative person slid through, but I got such great, everything. Stay committed, stay connected, communicate, all this kind of stuff. You can do it. Stuff like that. And that really blessed me. That really helped me to be able to come online and talk about my relationship without hiding, because you see people getting married in secret now. You see people not sharing. I'm not telling you have to share everything, but the fact that you have good relationships out there and you can't share them, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart, because people are nosy. Yeah, they are, I understand, but we share all the negative stuff about relationships and nothing good. So no, I don't share everything or give everything, but I do share, because I want people to know that it can happen. And I'm just believing it's going to all work. You're welcome, sis. I believe it's going to work out. Lord willing, everything is going to happen the way we desire it to happen, and go from there. But we are doing it through a pure, holy. This is the first time I've had a pure relationship, y'all. And so if I can help anybody, I'm going to do it. I've never had a pure relationship. I've never had a relationship where I'm not having sex in it. Never had a relationship where we're not doing right. And this is the first time, and so I'm going to enjoy it. We're going to take our time. We're not going to rush. We're going to seek God's face. We just came from a walk. I just came from walking with him. We had to do it like that because we're long distance. But he said, baby, can we walk tomorrow? And I said, yes. He's at the park. I walk my route, my regular route. And then we've planned to do it every Saturday that we can together if his son doesn't have an early game. And so I put it in my schedule, and we do what we have to do to make it work. And when it comes to love, you'll do what you have to do to make it work. You'll find a way. You'll find a way. I have a little post-it by our picture together that talks about that. You'll find a way. You'll find a way to make it work. And so I pray that y'all are encouraged by the new chapter that I just put out. You can find it on every platform that you listen on. If you can't, DM me, let me know. We'll get it up there. But I know it's on Apple Music, iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. There's something called Deezer. I don't know what that is. It's on there. It alerts me when it alerts that people are listening to it. And so these have been coming up. It's on Amazon Music. Whatever you listen to, check out Draw Me Closer. God is under God-shaped music. Just type in God-shaped music. It's been popping up for Draw Me Closer for me, but check it out. Listen to it. It's a concert type of vibe. The rest will come out on the 19th to hear the whole concert, but I wanted to give you a taste of what it is. Listen to it and go check out Song of Solomon for yourself. Song of Songs for yourself. You're welcome, sis. You're welcome. Yes, you do what it takes. You do what it takes. But go check it out. And I'm so thankful, y'all, for the support that y'all give me over the years. This is going to be my favorite. I love the Bible. So you'll get new books of the Bible. And then I'll have some random music coming out that I've already created that is biblical or whatever, just encouraging, inspiring, just Jesus. So again, thank y'all. I got a lot of stuff to do today. And for our anniversary, he gave me, I get to buy plants. I'm excited. Y'all know I love plants. So, he's like, baby, get what you want. It's all good. I know what I'm at first he's like, I want you to get some flowers and blah, blah. And then he texted me back and said, no, get what you want. Get what you want. I said, I'm getting plants. They last longer. So, I love all of y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I just want to explain Draw Me Closer and this Bible project that I'm excited about. More to come. I'll be posting some things up there today. I'll post a carousel based on what Song of Solomon is about. Also based off of her side, his side, God's side. Okay? So check that out. And you'll see more. Just stay tuned to what it is to be able to love better. Love others better, love God better, love yourself better. But more than anything, to have a pure eye, ear, and heart about love. Okay? So, I love y'all. Have a good one. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Y'all get in church on Sunday.